Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And today we're going to give quarterback rankings ahead of the 2026 NFL season, which is inching closer and closer. And we all have our we can't wait for football fix now that the Knicks have won their championship. Baseball season still in the middle. A lot of people just waiting for football. So let's start to rank these quarterbacks ahead of 2026. Let's get right into it. Now, today's video is being brought to you by SeatGeek. Now, SeatGeek is a great place to go for your tickets, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, concerts, sporting events of all kinds, wrestling, even comedy shows. SeatGeek is your place. SeatGeek will grade your tickets on good deals or bad deals. Red means bad. The green means a good deal. And we also give you guys a hookup where you can save some money on tickets using code APW Sports at checkout to save yourself 10% on your tickets. Thank you for SeatGeek for sponsoring the channel. And let's get back to the video. All right, so we got different tiers: elite quarterbacks, franchise, high-end starter, solid starter, question marks, bridge starter, and replacement level. Now we're going to go to Aaron Rodgers for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think at this point of his career, he's a solid starter. I don't see him as a high-end type of football player that really changes this football team at this stage of his career. Yeah, he makes them a little bit better, but I'm one that really doesn't see this Steelers team, but only kind of staying at that mid-level and Aaron Rodgers being a quarterback. So he's solid. Next is Baker Mayfield. He's a little bit tougher to grade, but I kind of will put him at the, I say, high-end starter. I will put him in the tier above Aaron Rodgers at this stage of Aaron Rodgers' career, and that's kind of how I'm going it based off of Mayfield. He's been productive in Tampa Bay. He's been in the playoffs except for last year. Almost every season he's been there. And if it wasn't for the injury last year, I think the Bucs probably win that division, honestly. I think so. Next is Bo Nix. I will put him at the franchise quarterback. I think Denver has found their franchise guy with Bo Nix, had them to the #1 seed, and I still believe if he doesn't get hurt, the Broncos make the Super Bowl. I really believe so. He played well. He did have some stretches where he was kind of mismatched or whatever. But I believe Bo Nix, I think he's that franchise type of quarterback now for the Denver Broncos. Brock Purdy, I also put him at that franchise quarterback level. I don't see him as elite yet. I'm not going to say he's not, no. But is he definitely a franchise level type of quarterback, which is why they paid him the money that he got, and which is why I think the 49ers down the stretch offensively look tremendously well. So I'll give Brock Purdy his due. Franchise quarterback. I'm going to go Bryce Young. I'll say high-end starter on him. I don't see him as a franchise level of those two or anybody else, but I just believe Bryce Young, he still has some steps to grow. He still has some steps to take, but we seen at points of last year, even though sometimes it was a bit inconsistent, we seen growth in him, and we made plays down the stretch in clutch games for this Carolina Panthers football team. So I'll put him in high-end starter. My guy, Caleb Williams, I have him as a franchise-type quarterback. The things he was able to do late in the games, I wish people would tell him it's that time of the game, every single minute of the game. But I think once he starts to complete some of I want to say the typical, or I want to say, I'm at a loss for words of where I'm trying to go with this. But I think if once he does the routine throws routinely, he's an elite quarterback. I personally believe so. He's accurate on the deep ball. He just has to hit the routine throws routinely and not have to rely on some of those crazy plays. Then we're talking about a different level quarterback. Next, Cam Ward. I put him as solid starter, but I still believe he has a lot more room to grow. We've seen flashes of him last year. Now that you got him some receiving help, along with Calvin Ridley, you get him Carnell Tate. I think Cam Ward, and what I've seen, I think we could put Cam Ward at that solid starter. Next is CJ Stroud. I still believe in him, and it is not my Ohio State bias. I just think that he needed to fix up an offensive line. Because it was games where I watched the Texans last year, And I think it might have been a bit of a mental thing, is just that he didn't have really too much trust or faith in his protection. And it kind of showed sometimes, especially late in the season. It started to show that he would make reads, he would make decisions a bit too quickly, not trusting his protection. But he still has some room to grow, but I put him at high-end starter. Dak Prescott, I put him at that franchise quarterback level. I can almost put him at the elite level, but I think that is a rare few quarterbacks in this league that's going to be elite. But Dak Prescott, I put him at that franchise quarterback level. We know what he can do. We just got to see it a little bit more consistently. I think this year with bringing back Pickens and you got CeeDee Lamb, you still have a really good running game. I think Dak Prescott was right there, franchise quarterback. Daniel Jones, to me, solid starter. Honestly, to me, solid starter. Yes, he started to look good, but I think the injuries kind of slowed him down, and I think the play of the team really slowed down at a bit. I think he was like 8-3 or 8-4 before he tore his Achilles, and then the season just derailed. I think when they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, that's when the season started to derail for them, but I put him as solid starter. I don't think he's at these guys' level. Me personally, I still believe it was somewhat of a fluke, but we shall see. Next is Deshaun Watson, replacement level. And I don't think he's going to be a guy. I don't think even if he starts, he doesn't last a year. It's been too many questions, too many health issues. I think he's probably going to get replaced at some point. Drake May, I'll put him at that franchise level. Yes, he's finished second in MVP last year. Me personally, I still think he's great. He has the potential to be great. I still think he does. But I can't put him at elite. If that was the case, I would put Caleb there too. And I'm going to be honest. If I put Drake May there, I have to put Caleb there. And I don't think neither one of those quarterbacks are there. I like what Drake May did last year. I like the way he played. He made some really clutch throws down the stretch. But I'm going to put him at franchise quarterback. Next is Fernando Mendoza. And I'm only putting him in question marks is because me personally, I still don't think he should be a starter week one. I did a video about that. I still don't think he should start week one. I really don't. Not to say I don't believe in him, not to say he can't be a great quarterback, but I just think it will be starting him too soon will be a disservice to his development and a disservice to his career and a disservice to the Raiders organization that went to go get him number one overall. Do I think he has the potential to be great? Yes. Do I think he's there? Yes. But I just don't think he starts right away, which is why I say question marks. It's the only reason. Geno Smith, replacement level. I don't think he lasts the season at quarterback. The Jets, they didn't really address that much in this draft. I think Garrett Nussmeier was the pick. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, I think he's replacement level. And he's more of, and he could be even the bridge starter at this point because I just don't think, number one, I don't think he's going to last years where I put him at replacement level. And the way the Jets organization is going, I think he's going to be also a bridge until next year to where I think in that quarterback class, they get the quarterback their future. Jacoby Brissett, I put him as a bridge starter in Arizona. They did draft Carson Beck, but it's not sure if he's actually going to be starting or not. So I'm going to put him at a bridge starter. Jacoby Brissett is more of a bridge starter. Not to say he can't play well, but he's not high level. Jalen Hurts. I still have him as a franchise type of quarterback. Last year was a big slippage. He had some fourth quarters where he kind of disappeared. Was it the Eagles saga, the drama of things with the A.J. Brown situation, the offensive coordinator situation? We shall see. With Petzing in the building, Petz is in Detroit, but new offensive coordinator in the building. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but we shall see how this goes. But I still believe he's a franchise quarterback. I do. Jared Goff is also franchise quarterback level. He really is. Or I could be high-end starter, but at this point, I'm going to leave him at franchise quarterback. Still productive. The Lions team had a bumps in the road this past season, but I still think he's a franchise quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Jackson Dart, I put him... I can't put him at franchise just yet. I'm going to have him as a solid starter. Now, do I think he's a level above Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers' point in his career, yeah. Cam Ward, and I think they're right on the same level. He's a little bit tougher because he has a bit the mobility that adds to his game, but I'm going to have him as solid starter. Jaden Daniels, I'm only putting him at high-end starter because he did not play much last year, and I want to see how he's going to recover from injury. That's the reason I put Jaden Daniels at high-end starter. Do I believe in him? Yes. Do I believe he's good? Yes. But it's just he missed so much time last year, whether it was the lower leg injuries, the elbow injury. He missed a ton of time last season. We really didn't get to see if he was able to progress or even have a sophomore slump because of the injuries. And that's the only reason I put him at high-end starter. But I do have faith in him, and I do believe in him. But we didn't see, like I said, we didn't see much of it last year, so I think it's still a bit in the wait and see if he's recovered from the injuries and he can go back to what he did his rookie season. J.J. McCarthy, I put him in question marks. He has a ton of question marks. Can he do anything better than what he did last year? Because he did have some stretches where he played well. Fourth quarter against the Bears, I think it was that game against Detroit, where he had looked like, okay, there's something there. And I was talking about fourth quarter against the Bears week 1. So J.J. McCarthy, and I've always said he was a product more when he was at that team up north, but I do believe he has a lot more room to grow, and it's interesting to see if he does, which is a lot of the question marks. Can he improve his accuracy? Can he improve his footwork? That is a question mark, and that's big time. Can he improve accuracy and all that? Question marks is on J.J. McCarthy. Joe Burrow, elite. When healthy, elite. And we've seen it. It's just the fact that he has to stay healthy. But Joe Burrow, when he's healthy, is an elite quarterback. Took the Bengals to the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game. Then he almost had to miraculously pull him to the playoffs in 2024. It's just 2023, 2025, he just wasn't healthy. And in his rookie year, he wasn't healthy. But when he's healthy, elite quarterback. Jordan Love, I put him at franchise quarterback. He had a really solid year last year. The team kind of fumbled down the stretch. But Jordan Love, even though I am a Bears fan, I still think of him as a franchise-level type of quarterback. Because when Jordan Love is hot, he's hot. And I will be honest, and I can't sit here and sugarcoat that and make up a lie. He's hot. He's hot. He's a really good quarterback. Josh Allen, elite. One of my, and I'll say this, my favorite quarterback of this game, outside of course, Caleb Williams. But I love watching Josh Allen play. It's just he stunk up the joint against the Broncos in the playoffs. It's just, will he get over the hump? I think it's the biggest question on Josh Allen. Will he get over the hump? And we've seen years where he played well in the playoffs and his defense didn't play well. That was on him last year against Denver. If he doesn't throw those interceptions, and I think that one call, I think it was Cooks. I think it was Cooks with the interception or the call late in that Broncos game, but he did not play well in that game. And I will give him the blame for that. But he's still an elite quarterback. Justin Herbert, I love Justin Herbert. It's just, he had no line last season, which look, he had to run for his life. But Justin Herbert, I really have some belief in him. I really have some belief in Justin Herbert. I still think this Chargers team will be good. I still think Justin Herbert is a top-level quarterback. It's just, I think once he gets protection, I think you will start to unlock a little bit more of Justin Herbert in this Jim Harbaugh offense. He just needs protection. Kirk Cousins, bridge starter. I personally think Kirk Cousins is going to be the bridge starter until Fernando Mendoza is ready. Like I said, I made a video about this. I think Kirk Cousins is probably going to start week 1, but I think by week 7, week 8, Fernando Mendoza will be in. If not earlier, but between week 6 and week 8, in my personal opinion, Fernando Mendoza will be the starting quarterback. He's a bridge starter at this point. Kyler Murray, I got him as question marks. It's wrong with J.J. McCarthy. I was personally one that was never sold on Kyler Murray when he was the number 1 overall pick. He did in 2021 look great early, but he had some injuries and then he had some very inconsistent play. I don't think of Kyler Murray like a lot of people do. I've never been high on him. I've always had my own personal question marks when it comes to Kyler Murray. The injuries and the inconsistency does not help that. And I think could a part of him unlocking Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell? Possibly. But I have question marks on Kyler Murray, which is why the Cardinals were ready to get rid of him, despite them not having a quarterback situation solved. So I think that tells a lot, that the Cardinals were ready and able to eat some of that contract just to get Kyler Murray off the books. That's just me. Lamar Jackson, elite. When healthy, elite. I don't think you have to debate that much. He did struggle with some hamstrings, some foot, some leg injuries last year. When he was healthy, he played his best football. The team wasn't so great, but we know what Lamar Jackson can do. We know how great he can be. And it's just his biggest question mark has always been the playoffs. Will he ever get over the hump? And similar to Josh Allen, will he ever get over the hump? Malik Willis, I have him as a solid starter. It's interesting to see now that he's able to take the reins as a starting quarterback for opening week 1, first time basically in his career. He started some games here and there for Tennessee and Green Bay. He really looked good in Green Bay in the latter stretches last year. So I have him as a solid starter, but I believe in Malik Willis. I just don't believe in a lot around him, which will probably kind of make him look a little bit different. But I believe Malik Willis is a solid starter. Matthew Stafford is still elite. I've always said Matthew Stafford was underrated, and a lot of that was because he's in Detroit, and look what has happened since he's been the Rams starting quarterback. Super Bowl, they on the cusp of a Super Bowl championship. They're really on the cusp of one now with the offseason that they had, and he's coming off of his career year. 37, 38 years old, still playing elite football. Matthew Stafford, elite. Michael Penix Jr., question marks. Health, and you could put Tua Tagovailoa right along with them, question marks. Both question marks health. Both question marks consistency. Both question marks accuracy. So they don't have Tua on this graphic, but Tua will be in that same spot with Michael Penix Jr. Question marks. They both have the talent. They both have a skill set, but inconsistency with both, inaccuracies with both, and injuries with both. So I have both at question mark. Patrick Mahomes, we know he's elite. It's just he had the injury last year. The team kind of took a nosedive, which I kind of predicted. But we know Patrick Mahomes is a top quarterback. I mean, there's no debate about that. Healthy Patrick Mahomes, the way he has to play Superman, and that tells you to have him having to play Superman just for this team to have wins and have success and how good he is, or great he is. Mahomes, elite. Sam Darnold, I have him as a franchise quarterback. It's kind of hard pressed for me to put him in elite, honestly. He did have a little bit of a stretch towards the end of the regular season where he did not play that great. That playoff run was magnificent, but Sam Darnold, I have him as franchise quarterback despite him being a Super Bowl champion. He actually didn't play that well in the Super Bowl, if you want to be honest, but Sam Darnold, I have him as a franchise quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, I have him as question marks. And the only reason I have him as question marks, I didn't see enough of him to be, okay, he's going to be something, or okay, he's going to be special type of thing. He's still in that I want to see more. That's why I have question marks. I want to see more from Shedeur. I want to see him necessarily. I think he should be the starter week 1. I want to see him take the reins. I want to see how he's going to do with a full season or whatever he can as a starter. So I have Shedeur in the question marks, and I put him at question marks. It's just, I think last year for him is a bit incomplete, only because he only had some limited play, as limited starts. So I want to see more. That's all. I want to see more from Shedeur, but I do believe he's a good quarterback. Franchise quarterback for Trevor Lawrence. He finally took that step last year that I thought he should have taken 2-3 years ago. It finally started to come together for Trevor Lawrence. That team played well. He played well. And he started to look like, okay, this Jaguars team is going places with Liam Cohen as head coach. And I think Liam Cohen unlocked a good portion of good football play from Trevor Lawrence. So I got Trevor Lawrence and franchise quarterback. Last but not least, Tyler Shough. I really, out of these rookie quarterbacks last year, whether we're talking about a Ward, Shador, Jackson Dart, I personally believe Tyler Shough had a little bit. I think he showed a lot. How can I put this? I really, especially late down the stretch for the New Orleans Saints and with Kellen Moore, I really believe personally that Tyler Shough might have the best second year out of those rookie quarterbacks last year. He might have the best second year. I think if the Saints team started him a little bit earlier, but I think they kind of did the right thing of letting him develop, and then when he's ready to get in there, I have some belief in Tyler Shough from what I've seen from him. But these are my rankings for the quarterbacks ahead of 2026. You guys leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys next one. Peace.